Hey guys, I'm back with another haul, and today I have a HomeWorx plus ScentWorx plus AromaHome haul. So basically, Slatkin's taking all my money, and Slatkin is all up in the business today because we have basically, three parts of just a few things from each brand, and I just figured I'd clump them all into one, and we'll call it a day. So HomeWorx is Ulta stuff, which, spoiler, they have improved their packaging like way beyond, so there's that. ScentWorx, I have just a few hand soaps because I had some Kohl's cash that I received from the last time I shopped for the ScentWorx candles from fall, and then so I went back to use my $10 Kohl's cash on 2 soaps. And then lastly, I've had this one for a few weeks now, but it's the new Harry Slatkin candles at Home Depot, which is like, I would have never imagined those two phrases, Harry Slatkin and Home Depot, to be in the same sentence, but here we are in 2021. I guess crazier things have happened. So that is today's video. If you're interested in any of that, then stay tuned. So yes, we have a haul from Ulta. They've had these like basically like just like placeholder product listings. Ulta's weird in which they put listings for new products that are not in stock yet, and they haven't been in stock for weeks and weeks, and they finally went in stock. And Ulta, of course, has free shipping after $35, so it's more favorable than having to pay on QVC, especially because you can buy individual candles, and even more favorable than HomeWorx.shop. Even though they have a rewards program, you still have to at least spend $5 for shipping as well. So I was like, you know what, let me do Ulta because they have a combination of both of the candles that I want, and that is what I did. The shipping was, oh my god, so fast. I literally put it in the morning when I first saw that they were finally in stock, and then it shipped out later that afternoon, and then it came to me in a few days after that, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the fastest shipping ever. You know, QVC is sometimes, a lot of times, just like sits on products and it's like in processing forever, or they've had a lot of advance orders lately, so it's kind of exciting to be able to get this product so fast. I was honestly wanting to see them in store, but that just simply never happened. There's just, I think Fall Farmstand is finally trickling into some stores, but none of the 3 wicks or nothing else from the fall collection. There honestly isn't really a whole lot of new fall 4-wick candles as well, which is kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. So I was like, let me just do it online and call it a day. And so it did indeed come in one large Ulta box like this, as you can see, and it had plenty of the like air fillers in it, so that was good. And then on top of that, they both came in individual boxes like this, as you can see. And the like 4-wick one comes in the like paper packaging like that. They're like crates. And the 3-wick ones come in a box like this as well. And they come with styrofoam now, like so. As you can see right there. So I'm sure if any of you guys have ordered from HomeWorx before, there's a very high probability that you have got your candle completely shattered, which has happened to me and so many people I've talked to and so many people I've seen on social media. It was a sore point, I believe, for HomeWorx for the longest time. And then I believe even earlier, they started sending them in these boxes, but the Ulta shipping department would actually take them out of those intended shipping boxes and then put them willy-nilly and loose leaf in a box with minimal bubble wrap, and they would shatter inevitably. So I think this is finally the first season from Ulta where the shipping has actually finally been corrected. So if this is indeed the way that they package all their stuff going forward, then I would think you can maybe shop with confidence, because I think I've seen one other person on Instagram who had a shipping package that was similar to mine. So at least there's that. So maybe finally, many years coming, many years in the works, that the packaging has been rectified at Ulta. So now with all that intro out of the way, let me do my haul. So basically what I did was I did 2 candles. I wanted one 4-wick and I wanted one 3-wick. And so it would have been $25 because the fall ones are still not 2 for $40 at Ulta for some reason. They're still full price, but I didn't mind because then it was $15 for the 3 wicks, and that put it at $40, and then I got free shipping because it was over $35. The one that I was really excited for, because this sold out and people were really raving about it, and it's really the only like quintessentially fall seeming one on the Ulta website right now, and that is Fall Farmstand right here. And that's what that looks like with their usually glossy photo labels and the chrome lid right there. This one says sugared apple, golden pear, vanilla bean, and honey, and this is what that looks like. And yeah, I'm kind of just alright, lukewarm with it. On cold, it just smells very generic or regular or run-of-the-mill. It doesn't seem too out of the box or anything. It seems like something that I've smelled a million times before, so I'm not really too enthused about that. It's just your usual apple, pear plus spice and sweetness blend. your usual like kind of apple cinnamon type of leaves type of fragrance. It really does still smell like leaves to me. And we have leaves here, which was a Slatkin Co fragrance, so it makes sense. This is apple, nectar, and clove spice. Yeah, they're very similar. This one's just maybe a little bit spicier than Fall Farmstand is, and Fall Farmstand is a little bit sweeter and smoother, probably because of the addition of the honey. It gives it like a natural sweetness to the apple and like pear blend, but it's still the same like mulling spices type of leaves spice note. Definitely in here of like the clove and the cinnamon and the pear and the apple, and then naturally sweetened by honey. Very similar to leaves. Also very similar to Golden Harvest, which I also, if you recall from my older videos, I said this smelled like a HomeWorx version of leaves as well, and that's what that looks like. This originally came in a duo with Apple Spice Latte. It was a HSN auto delivery, and then it also got released as a standalone Chevron glass edition as well. This one is crisp apple, juicy pear, cinnamon, nutmeg, and brown sugar, which sounds very similar to what we read on Fall Farmstand. This one is slightly different. This one is less sweet and heavier on the spices, which is basically what leaves is. So these are very much sibling fragrances, and Fall Farmstand is also a sibling fragrance in that category. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it just smells like one of those variations. I'm hoping, there's been a number of times where I've been kind of underwhelmed with HomeWorx candle on cold, but it did like transform or just like, you know, liven up when I went to go burn it. So I'm hoping maybe this one will become magical when I go to burn it, but right now I'm just like, all right, I probably wouldn't have picked it up if I had smelled it in store ahead of time. So yeah, that's Fall Farmstand right there. The next one we have is this 3-wick version, which is the first time I've actually tried a 3-wick from HomeWorx, and not to be confused with the 3 wicks that are these 3 wicks. So originally these large 18-ounce used to be 3 wicks when they were made in the USA, and then they transitioned into USA and then now solely Vietnam 4-wick candles as we see here. But then these are still, I believe, made in Vietnam, smaller 3-wick 14-ounce ones are what these are, and they come with like the wood lid with his monogram on there. Lukewarm on the packaging on this. This has really enticed me. This is nowhere near as enticing as the visuals of their usual gorgeous photo labels. So this one, even if like the fragrance sounds nice in the 3-wick one, I'm kind of just turned off by it because the jar is kind of generic or boring. It looks simple and clean enough, but it kind of gives me TJ Maxx vibes if I was being totally honest, because especially the wood lid, like even the wood lid I see a lot at TJ Maxx candles, so it just kind of has a TJ Maxx vibes to it, and definitely not as luxe as, you know, their usual large jars or their like special edition ones, but it is a lower price point of $15, so I guess there's trade-offs there. But the one that I was most excited for, and I was waiting for the longest time, I was like, please just let this be in stock at Ulta eventually, was indeed Pumpkin Cold Brew right there. It says soothing and aromatic, and it says sweet pumpkin, espresso, toffee, and vanilla cream. There's also a fall morning cozy weekend or something like that, and a cranberry vanilla frost and a persimmon nectar, I believe, are the other ones in the collection. But Pumpkin Cold Brew caught my attention totally. I have forever, ever wanted a Harry Slatkin or a Slatkin Co team, Slatkin team coffee fragrance for the longest time. I don't even know if there was a coffee fragrance from Slatkin Co even at BBW. Was there? There was Espresso Bar, but that I believe was in 2013 after Slatkin Co. So I don't know if we ever actually got a coffee fragrance from Slatkin Co at BBW. So of course I was like, you know what, I have to try a coffee fragrance. I feel like they would maybe really nail it. So we'll see how it does. Yeah, it's not what I thought it would be. I was like, oh my god, please let this be the end-all be-all coffee candle, but it's really heavy on the ginger and molasses notes. This is very heavy, and then there's a slight roastiness, but it honestly kind of smells like roasted, like dried seaweed. If you have Asian cuisine, there's a lot of dried seaweed that is in the cuisine, and I would know. And it kind of smells like roasted, dried, salted seaweed mixed with a lot of ginger, molasses, and maybe a little bit of caramel cream in the background. But it doesn't have that robust coffee like coffee bean, roasted coffee bean note. And I guess there's a difference with cold brew versus actual regular brew, the sense that it's not being brewed through a machine and it's being steeped. But even then, aren't the coffee beans already roasted ahead of time? So you would still get a roasty fragrance or aroma from even cold brew. And I've had cold brew a lot of times before, and there's a slight difference in the aroma between the two. And this captures some of that like heaviness that cold brew has. Like if you ever like taste cold brew versus regular brew, there is something there's just a different aroma to it when you drink it. It's kind of heavy, and it also sometimes I have to like clear my like throat or I guess palate with water because there is such a heaviness to it. So this does capture some of the heaviness of cold brew and like just the richness of it being steeped versus the full-blown brewing like roasty component as it's actively brewing out of a machine. So I guess it captures a little bit of that, but it's not like quintessentially coffee or coffee bean or coffee house in the way I was expecting, like we get from like Paris Cafe from BBW right here. When you smell this, this is like undeniably coffee. Like, you know, like if it was a blind smell test, like, you know, this is coffee no matter what. It smells like something is brewing. It smells like you walk into Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or a coffee house. You get that roasty, bold element that I really enjoy. This one's so immensely strong. And so you don't really get that undeniable coffee brewing in the background fragrance that I would expect from a coffee fragrance. But there is, I guess, an implied coffee feel to it. I feel like maybe I just need to burn this to get the full effect of it, but even the pumpkin is really not that spicy either. It's just there's a ginger and molasses that is just so immensely heavy and rich. And then you get a little bit of like a caramel cream note is what I get from it, and then a little bit of that like roasted seaweed note, which I guess is supposed to kind of be like coffee beans. So it smells very strong and heavy and intense and almost like cloying on cold. So I'm really interested to see how this performs, especially because it's a smaller 14-ounce 3-wick as well. So it's not exactly quite what I had imagined up in my mind, but it's here, so we'll see how it does. It's not offensive by any means. There's definitely a little bit of like a spice note in there that evokes like pumps of pumpkin spice syrup. So there's that. I think I just have to burn it to see how it really translates. So that was pumpkin cold brew right there. Comparing it to pumpkin spice latte from BBW, which this is just a repackage of sweet tiramisu. So it didn't really have a whole lot of pumpkin in it. This is a lot creamier, a lot more like vanilla based. The spice is not as heavy as the HomeWorx one is, where this isn't so heavy on that like rich ginger and molasses that really weighs it down. This is a little bit more sweeter, creamier, and lighthearted. There's a lot of that like whipped cream type of note in there, and just, yeah, this one doesn't really have a whole lot of coffee in it either, at least in my opinion, not in the way that Paris Cafe has. But this one's definitely the sweeter, lighter variation, whereas pumpkin cold brew is really just heavy on that ginger and molasses. So there was that. And I believe that is it for the HomeWorx stuff. I have a lot of advanced order stuff that is just being delayed many times. So those I don't know when will come to me. So that will just have to be another haul. And now let's move on to ScentWorx. So at Kohl's, I did do that Kohl's ScentWorx haul recently. Actually quite pleasantly impressed and surprised by the performance on those candles. As you know, the first year of ScentWorx was just not the jam, but then I kind of just revisited them this year just to see how they did, because that strawberry glazed donut did so well, and the candles have definitely improved. I had one or two of them. One was like nearly unscented, and the other one was very light, but all the other ones were strong or adequate enough. They have a very consistent burn and throw as well that I've been really enjoying those candles actually. So then I got the Kohl's cash from that transaction that I did from the initial haul, and it was good for the week following. And so that's when I went in and I was like, you know what, I'm really enjoying these fragrances in candle form, so let me check them out in either body care or soap. And so I did the soap instead. I got a golden vanilla on discount before. No, actually golden vanilla was not on discount, but I did buy a golden vanilla soap before, and it was pretty good. The fragrance was quite delicious. It's not as moisturizing or gentle as, like, let's say a soft soap from like Walmart or a grocery store, but it's not as harshly drying as BBW's harshly drying, like absolutely murders your hand, like makes it bloody and everything. At least for me and a lot of other people that I've talked to in real life, like our hands will get completely beat up by BBW's foaming hand soap, and even their gentle gel ones aren't gentle at all. haul. Like I was using Gentle Gel exclusively for like 2 weeks while my move was happening, and I was going back and forth between houses, and it was the only thing that was available, and my hands were completely torn, bloody, and like just completely dry and cracking by the end of those 2 weeks. So I was like, no, these BBW hand soaps just have to go. So that's why I did the ScentWorx ones. So yeah, not as drying as BBW, not as gentle or moisturizing as like a soft soap variety. It's kind of in between. It's a little bit drying, but you still get enough fragrance, and it's not drying enough where your hands are bloody by the end of the 2 weeks. So there's a trade-off there that I'm like, you know what, for free, I'll still try them, and I really enjoy the fragrances. So we have Toasted Pumpkin S'mores right here, which is the first one. This one is Spice Melted Chocolate, is blended with fluffy marshmallow and crispy graham cracker, and it says they're moisture-rich foaming hand soaps infused with essential oils and aloe. Yeah, I already kind of spoke on that. Oh my god, friggin' love this fragrance. So yeah, these were $5 each, originally $7.50. Oh my god, the candle, I was saying it smelled like feet on coal, but when you go to burn it, it gets really warm and delicious and scrumptious, and just like the most realistic, authentic, delicious s'mores fragrance. The hand soap is the same, but I feel like you get a little bit more of the actual pumpkin spice note in this. There's a little bit more of the spiciness in here that I actually really enjoy, but you still get the chocolate and the marshmallow and the graham cracker, and it's just beautiful s'mores fragrance all over your hands. It's not as strong of staying power as the BBW one is, but I suspect maybe it's a little less strong on the fragrance as a trade-off of it not being so drying, because a lot of times the more fragrance oil you put in, the more it might be drying as well. So it's another trade-off there, but I still love it when I'm using it. So that is the Toasted Pumpkin S'mores right there, and that's what that looks like. We then have French Vanilla Pumpkin, and that's what that looks like right there. This one says creamy pumpkin and white chocolate are blended with whipped vanilla cream. Friggin' love this in the hand soap. Oh my god, the fragrance is amazing in hand soap. Kind of tempted to try the shower gel next time around, because the hand soap is really great. The candle, I had that the first year. It smelled like burnt popcorn kernels and butter, and I just really wasn't here for it. The candle still largely smells the same on cold this year when I smell it, but the hand soap is absolutely divine. You get the same like sort of nutty component that I was talking about with like a creamy pumpkin spice in there, but you also do get a vanilla, but it's almost like a gingered creamy vanilla and a gingered creamy pumpkin. There's a very creamy component to it, and the hand soap, oh my god, most certainly has like this slightly musky body care vanilla to it that makes it so elegant and smooth and creamy, and a very, I guess, French vanilla seems very appropriate for that part of the fragrance. There's a slight body care vanilla depth to it that is absolutely delicious, but there's still enough of like a gourmand feel to it that I like the balance of the two, and the hand soap is absolutely scrumptious. So I really have been enjoying the soap version of this fragrance. So it's French Vanilla Pumpkin right there. And I believe that's it for the cool stuff. And then lastly, we have AromaHome by HS Worx, which is the new Home Depot brand of Harry Slatkin candles, and that'll be next. So yes, I believe Philly Candleman here on YouTube was the first one to break this news that there was indeed a brand of Harry Slatkin candles at Home Depot, which I was just like, what is this? Like, that seems so off-brand. I was like, I really don't know what is going on here, but it happened to be. I did my own research of seeing when the trademarks were filed and how they were filed and who they were filed by, and the same trademarks that we had for like ScentWorx and other Harry Slatkin brands, the AromaHome by HS Worx was indeed on there, so we can assume that it is indeed a Harry Slatkin brand. Initially, the trademark was filed for AromaHome by Harry Slatkin, but maybe he opted not to have his name tied to a Home Depot brand, so then they changed it to HS Worx, which kind of weird or confusing, but it is what it is. So that's what this looks like, and that's that right there. And it has these like plastic lids, as you can see here, and it has the pattern going around there, and the bottom does look very familiar to all the other Slatkin brands. And this one, it says manufactured for AromaHome by HS Worx, and it says New York, New York, and these are indeed made in the USA, along with ScentWorx, whereas HomeWorx is still in Vietnam. So yeah, apparently they've been around for a while, and just nobody, like, I guess, who of us go to Home Depot frequently to shop for candles? Probably not a lot of us, so I guess it's no surprise that none of us caught on to it. But there was even a winter pine candle that showed up on Home Depot that was already on clearance for like $5.88, meaning maybe they even had a winter launch last year and nobody just caught on to it, and then it seemed like they had a lot of spring ones, and then finally we have the summer ones right now. So it seems like maybe they've been around for a while, but they just don't promote or advertise it. I guess maybe just because the Home Depot thing is kind of like dicey. But yeah, my thoughts on there being Harry Slatkin candles at Home Depot definitely seems very off-brand and strange, and I think that's why it's been so like hush-hush or excluded from the other stuff. So as long as HomeWorx continues being HomeWorx and ScentWorx stays ScentWorx, and there isn't like an intermingling of, I don't know, I guess fragrance oils, I would imagine the reason why, like for instance, HomeWorx is still made in Vietnam, and I would assume the reason it's made overseas is for pricing or production cost, that it's probably cheaper to make them over there to offset the cost of research and development in the fragrance oils and all the perfumery and perfumer work that happens at HomeWorx. I'm assuming that is what it is. I don't know. I don't have any background or like insider info on that, but I would assume the reason they're made overseas is because it brings down the production costs. But then once again, they can maybe then have more money invested in research and development for perfumes or fragrances, whereas maybe ScentWorx is maybe, I don't know if they're like just less complicated oils, or maybe like even these are stock oils and they aren't actually being produced from scratch with master perfumers. I don't really know, and maybe that's why these are made in the USA and they can afford to make them in the USA. I don't know, this is pure speculation, but it's just kind of weird that those are the HomeWorx ones, even though that's like the, you know, the high-end version of all these candles is made in Vietnam, but then these are made in the USA. Makes me think there's some kind of cost thing going on there to offset, I guess, the perfumery work that goes on. I don't really know. It's just pure speculation. But yes, so I don't like, so for at a $9.88 price point and these being at Home Depot, like you can't expect them to be, I guess, the same quality and same like, you know, master perfumer work that you get in HomeWorx. Like, you know, for $9.88, like you have to have, like, you manage your expectations, I believe. So this is why I can't believe that these would be, you know, like the usual Slatkin Co like high-end fragrances that I guess we're used to. And upon smelling them, they just do smell like run-of-the-mill candles that you would get like from Big Lots or something like that, to be completely honest. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they're just like stock fragrance oils that aren't actually being like blended from scratch like HomeWorx is. So that's my bit on that. But yeah, these are $9.88, and there's a tropical pineapple and some hibiscus one that's out right now. And I did burn this for like 4 times, and that's what that looks like. The fragrance notes on this read pineapple, coconut, cream, starfruit, and orange zest. It's decent enough, but it smells very much like just a generic like Big Lots candle or like a grocery store candle or a candle you smell at Home Depot, a Glade candle. It's really nothing amazing to write home about. It's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna become an AromaHome stan or like super fan all of a sudden. Not at all like that. They just seem like very much stock candles that you would find at any old like, you know, discount store, to be completely honest. You know, the lids are like cheap plastic, and just the whole like product just feels like a Big Lots candle, to be completely honest. The label's not terrible, but even the font selection on it just kind of feels, I don't know, just discount to me, just being totally candid. And the fragrance on cold was nice, but when you go to burn it, there is a slight like plasticky, waxy quality to it, and it's nowhere near as like juicy or layered as like, you know, a HomeWorx pineapple fragrance, as you can see right here. Like this is pineapple mousse, which would be the closest to tropical pineapple, and you smell this, and yeah, it's just, it smells way more high quality than this does. So what does it smell like? It's basically a pineapple vanilla fragrance, and I actually kind of don't mind the fragrance. It's like a cheaper variety of pineapple mousse from HomeWorx. There's a slight buttery popcorn quality to it that I don't totally love about it, and that it's like a warm vanilla mixed with a pineapple, and I think the buttery nuttiness is coming from the coconut cream note. But when you go to burn it, there is a certain plasticky, waxy quality to it that I totally don't love, and the wicks keep nubbing out on me, and they just won't stay like vicious. Like it's pulling out, but there's always that chunk there that does not pull out. The throw was just medium. It wasn't unscented by any means. It feels like a bedroom, totally fine, like a medium 5 to 6 quality, but nothing more than that. I'm definitely just, yeah, I'm not at all inclined to go purchase another one, let me say that. But I guess this is just a way of, there just must be money in diversifying all your product lines and putting them into Home Depot. And like, it must just be profitable or a good like money decision for them to just have more brands out there. I feel like it kind of could have a slightly negative impact to just the, I guess, Slatkin name overall, that it kind of feel like it cheapens the brand, to be honest, that there's candles from Harry Slatkin at Home Depot. Like ScentWorx at Kohl's was still, you know, it's Kohl's. Like Kohl's isn't like a discount store or anything. It's still a regular department store. But then when you start having candles at Home Depot, it kind of feels a little like, yeah. And then we still have HomeWorx too. So it's just like, so as long as like they don't like all of a sudden like start like intermingling the, you know, fragrances or whatever, then I'm fine with it. But once again, nothing like I'm going to become a huge like AromaHome reviewer or something like that. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I feel like I could probably ramble on about more about it, but I'm just going to keep it there and be brief about it. So that is pretty much it. Other info on the Slatkin Co or Slatkin front is indeed there is a Slatkin Co like announcement or teaser that was put on Harry Slatkin's Instagram, as well as on the HomeWorx candles one. And there was also the same time the AromaHome trademark was filed, in the same time frame, Slatkin Co was actually filed as a trademark again. So we can assume that Slatkin Co is going to be another like revitalized or rebooted brand from Harry Slatkin. We don't know quite what form it's going to take. I feel like it could go one of two ways, that it could either be a like BBW Slatkin Co reboot, which would mean we would get like the familiar 3 wicks with like the BBW era like Slatkin candles, like blackberry grapefruit or salty caramel that we don't see anymore, lemon gelato, cotton candy, you know, all those like Slatkin mountain leaves, all those Slatkin classics that we knew from BBW Slatkin Co. It could be a reintroduction of those, especially because he had a post many months back asking people what Slatkin Co fragrance they want to see again. So that is option A. I feel like option B could be maybe this is his way of actually doing a true luxury brand again, because if you recall, Slatkin Co originally started in fancy department stores and for like creating candles for like celebrities and, you know, posh people, so to speak. And they had like boxed single wick candles, I believe, that were really truly more like luxury candles in the higher price point for a single wick candle, kind of similar like how Nest is right now. That could possibly be option B, because it's kind of confusing because we already have ScentWorx, which is in the like $15 to $17 price point, and then we have HomeWorx, which is usually anywhere from $18 to $25 price point, and then we have AromaHome, which is $10. So where exactly does Slatkin Co fit? Will it then become a luxury brand because he still hasn't really like done that market recently, or will it become some kind of throwback thing to BBW 3 wicks? I don't really know, but yeah, it's just kind of, there's so many price points, and I feel like HomeWorx is kind of a continuation of what Slatkin Co used to be at BBW. So then I don't know if he's going to differentiate it by making it a luxury brand, or if it's going to be more 3 wicks, but I feel like that would just cannibalize HomeWorx. So I guess it's not really cannibalizing because it's created by the same person. He's still making the money for it. So I don't really know. It's just kind of confusing. But we'll, I guess with time, we'll unveil what actually happens with that brand. And whew, I believe that is it. Let me know your thoughts down below on Slatkin Co. If you tried AromaHome by HS Worx from Home Depot, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as well. And then I'll try to do reviews, of course, of these new HomeWorx candles later on. So thank you so much if you watched this very rambly video. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.